Midori from National Institute for Environmental Studies, Japan. And today I talk about change of the public attitude toward the climate change and then choices in Japan. But today I don't talk much about the energy choices, but and the climate change, but also the risk perception of radioactivity in Japan and Japanese. And today's outline is as follows. Public attitude towards climate change and the energy choices. But let's talk about energy choices often, but I'll talk about the most important issues in Japan and the world since 2005, and then move to the comparison of our results of focus groups interviews before the accident and after the accident, and briefly explain the reason of the change of public opinion among those who verify change of mass media coverage. Okay. And so that first I talk about the most important issues in Japan and the world since 2005, and I focus on the climate change issues here. Okay, this graph shows the monthly newspaper coverage of climate change issues. I use the database and search the article which contains words of climate change or global warming or greenhouse effects in the titles and the main texts. And then we used three newspapers. One is Asahi. Okay, red line Asahi, and green line is about Yomiuri Shimbun publishers, and blue line is about Mainichi Shimbun publishers. Okay, this begins 2005. After the ratification of the Kyoto Protocol, February 2005, Japan's news coverage of climate change remains low until the early 2007. And Japan's news, in January 2007, the Al Gore's movie, The Inconvenient Truth, was released in Japan, and followed by the IPCC fourth assessment report was released from late January to early May. So that the media coverage increased here. And then here is the G8 summit in Germany, summer of 2007. So this is a first peak of the media coverage about climate change issues. And then go to the in the early of 2008, Prime Minister Fukushima announced long-term target, carbon dioxide reduction target as 50% here. So this is the second peak of the media coverage. And the third coverage, the third peak is here, and G8 summit in Japan. So it's June 2008. And after the summer of 2008, there is a economic recession here. So media coverage came down here. But in 2009, September 2009, Prime Minister Hatoyama announced midterm target of Japanese midterm reduction target, 25%. So it has huge debate about climate change issues here. And this is UN COP. No, not UN. It's COP 15 here. So this is first, second, third, fourth, and fifth peaks here. But after that, because of the economic recession, the climate change issue came down here. And here is the 2011. So, but this keeps at the same level as the before the 2007 coverage of mass media. This is the Japanese context of the climate change issues, especially the media coverage. Okay. And this is the same data set. We collaborated with Max Berkhoff of Colorado University in the States. He collected all media coverage in the data set, and he made this site. You can access media coverage here. Okay, this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth peak here. This is Japanese case, and this is a world case here. Actually, in Japan, the Albor's movie was released January 2007, but in the world, the movie was released late 2006, so that the media coverage began late 2006, and go up and went up until there are some peaks here. This is maybe the G8 summit here, and this is COP15 at Copenhagen. Okay, and went down here and remains the same level as a whole. And here's the UK data here. What happened here? This is UK data. UK data is collected by himself and other collaborators. And the UK huge peaks here. This is Copenhagen. And this is some J summit here. And this is about maybe this is about the IPCC report and COP. And in early 2000, I don't know what the peak means, but there is another peak here. And so that in world, there is a G8 summit in Germany and in Japan. This is the world peak, and this is COP15 and other peaks. So this is the world context of the climate change news media coverage. Okay, and in corresponding to the media coverage, I'm carrying out the monthly public opinion survey from 2005. Since spring 2005, we have conducted the monthly surveys over of pool of nationally representative Japanese respondents, 3,000 experts, 3,000, and the effective sample size is around 1,000. And 20 years and older people in Japanese, fully in Japan. Sorry. And we have two questionnaires. One is the most important issues in Japan, and another is the most important issues in the world. And tracking the response rates for issues noted by the respondents. And according to the classic theories in the field of mass media and public opinion, those responses are influenced by how the mass media frame national and international issues, and how much coverage those issues received. So here is a result about the most important issues in Japan from 2005 to 2013 here. And the environment is this brick color, but this response is around 2 to 5%. So this is the environment here. This is very low. But and the domestically, the main issue is about the economy or employment here, especially after 2008, economy and employment is one single major issue in Japan. Before that, pension issues or political finance issues is the top priority in Japan. And after this is March 11, 2011, after the earthquake is the main issue here. This is an earthquake, response rate of the earthquake here. And the blue line is the earthquake, especially responses from the Tohoku region. This is interesting that in Tohoku region, in May and June, is lower than the national response rates, but after August, our response rate about earthquake is the largest in Tohoku region. The difference between those two response patterns is very, very interesting here. And this is domestic. And this is the response rate of the most important issues in the world from 2005 to 2013. And the environment is this one, this frequent rate. And this is January 2007, it goes up very rapidly until more than 50% in 2007. This is the month of the G8 summit in Germany, and this is the month of the G8 summit in Hokkaido here. So this is the highest peak of the Japanese people's public opinion about the climate change here. It's around from 30% to more than 50%. This is the highest period of the Japanese awareness of the climate change issues. But after the economic crisis that occurred in summer of 2008, the economy or employment took over. And here is this line is about the economy and employment. Here is the one peak, and here is another peak after the earthquake. After the earthquake, even in the most important issues in the world, the economy and the employment is one single big issue in Japanese people. And here is, but the environment is still one of the top 5 issues here in Japan, even after the earthquake. This is the position of the environment in the Japanese context. In the world, the environment was the very big issue from the early 2007 to summer of the 2008. But after that, the economy took over. So this is a summary of the media coverage. This is newspaper coverage. This is a television coverage of the climate change. And this is a response rate of the most important issues in the world. You can see that the peak has the same peak. For example, this is June 2007. And this is the December 2008. And this is the June 2008. This is the Toyoko Summit, G8 Summit in Japan. And this is the, this is the COP 15. And the lower media coverage after 2010. So, and this here is a very interesting cross point here. This is the environment, the response rate of the environment, the blue line, and this is the response rate of the economy. here is a very interesting cross point here. As the economy goes up, environment goes up. So this is the debate of the environment versus economy. Okay, next slide. Next figure. This is only I extracted the data from the after the 2000, December 2010 to see the most important issue in Japan, especially after the earthquake. This is December 2010, and this is the March and April 2011, and here is the earthquake. And this is the response rate of the earthquake of all Japan. And this is the earthquake, response rate of the earthquake by the top region here. And this yellow one is the economy and employment by Tohoku region. Before the accident, Tohoku region was suffered by the employment issue and the economy issue here. And this is the line of the response rate of the economy and unemployment in Tohoku region. In late 2012, the economy and the unemployment is the main issue in Tohoku region. And also that is the main issue in all Japan. This line is about the economy and unemployment issues all over Japan. It was more than 40% before the accident. After the accident, the earthquake took over, but it began rising after the accident, especially after the September of 2012. So currently, the economy and the employment is the national issue in Japan. So the economy issue is the most priority in Japan. So the environment or climate change issues is not significant, it is not salient issue in Japan now. So that Abe cabinet, Prime Minister Abe insists they are very emphasized on the economy issues, especially in environment, not the environment, especially in the employment and the revival of the economy. That gets very popularity from Japanese people now. Right? How about this? Okay. So in conclusion of this section, in this section, we described about our monthly survey results and in relation to news coverage from both newspapers and television programs with the focus on the public perception of the importance of the Great East Japan earthquake of March 11, 2011 and climate change. And in addition to the earthquake and climate change, the perceived importance of the national and global economic situation also changed over time, and it takes a lot of influence on the response rate of the environment. And during our survey period, the world experienced a serious economic crisis after the collapse of the Lehman Brothers, that is after the summer of 2008. And these events with global impacts clearly revealed the environmental economy trade-off. And after the massive earthquake and tsunami on March 11th, Japan's economic situation worsened. However, the nuclear accident at the Fukushima plant forced the Japanese people to think about energy issues which are closely connected with climate change mitigation. So that, and in the next section, I'll talk about the comparison of our results through interviews between the before accident and after the accident. Actually, I couldn't get enough talks from the people about the energy choices after the accident. I asked people about the climate change issues in the focus groups, but I couldn't get enough talks. So that after so that I almost gave up surveying the climate change issues after the accident, actually. So here is the outline of this section. In this section, I talk about how people perceive and understand the climate change issues, and what will be the key the motivate for people to take actions, and with the focus groups here. So the before accident, I did several focus groups here. Actually, 5 ways. The first one is the February 2006 and May 2006 and February 2007 and November 2007 and February 2008. And from 2006 to 2008, this is very important to think about, what was the circumstances of this period. This is the figure 1, the first slide of this presentation. In 2006, the media coverage was very low, but among the period I conducted the focus groups, the media coverage began rising from 2007 to 2008, so that people received a lot of information from the media coverage in this period. So, this is the result, one of the results of the focus groups from 2006, February 2006 to February 2008. The result of the 2006 is described in the black letters in black, and the result of the February 2008 is expressed in the blue letters. You can see there are a lot of talks, a lot of words in blue, but very few words, few letters in black. That means from the 2006 to the 2008, people got more and more knowledge from mass media about climate change issues. And also from this slide, we can see that a lot of people's misunderstanding about climate change issues. In 2006, people have less knowledge about climate change issues, and they have very few knowledge about the mechanics of climate change. They hardly talk about the detailed understanding of items connected directly to global warming. Some people talk about heat island and the effects about the melting of the ice, sea level rise, and small islands or Venice sink, and some heat. But in 2008, people talk a lot about the mechanism here, mechanisms about climate change, and the many effects, all contained as a result of the 2006 weather, heat wave, unusual weather, and the strong typhoon and tropic species coming. So people get much more knowledge from the mass media. But after the accident, this is a map of the nuclear power generation plants as of the March 2011. This is Fukushima Daiichi plant here, and this is Tokyo, and this is Sendai, and I live between Fukushima and Tokyo around here. And we can talk about the Fukushima plant, but I think it's important to know that here is another nuclear plant on another plant, and this plant is also the coastline is located at the coastline of this here. But this plant was not destroyed. Is destroyed by the earthquake, but this plant was safe, and even this plant was used as an evacuation point at the disaster. So we have to compare these two places. But this is not today's talk, today's main theme. This is just I don't know that where the Fukushima is. Okay. So our focus group interviews after the accident was our main theme is about this the risk perception of the radiation activity generated by the Fukushima power plant accident. And respondents were recruited from the west region of Chiba Prefecture, where residents are suffered from radioactive contaminant. Those areas are called hotspot. This is our study site, Chiba and Tokyo, and this is a Fukushima Daiichi power plant location. And these two places are about 200 kilometers distance. Okay. And our focus groups is 4 waves. And the first wave is October 2012. In this wave, I asked about the trade-offs among the climate change and radioactivity, but the people hardly talked about the climate change issues, so that I gave up talking about climate change issues after the second wave. And in the second wave, I asked about the images of radioactivity, and the second wave is we asked about the images of the waste treatment of the Great Earthquake, and the second wave is in July 2013. I asked about the images of both radioactivity and the waste treatment of the Great Earthquake. So so this is 4 waves, but actually this is the first wave, and this is pre-study of the second wave, and this is second pre-study of the second wave, and this is the main study of the second wave. And okay. And from the first wave, the result of the first wave is as follows. People talked about experiencing the unusual weather, very hot weather, and a very big typhoon. But they don't hardly connect with those unusual weather with climate change. And participants talked much about the earthquake and the nuclear power, but not so much about climate change. They talked about unusual weather, but they seldom talk about climate change. And when the facilitator asked about climate change, participants thought this. Although most of them knew energy option debate in the summer of 2012, so it seems that they have no idea about nexus about nuclear power generation and energy option and climate change. They think those things about very much separately. They don't have no idea about those connections. Okay, this is. And also, okay. Next is the result of our second wave, pre-study of the second wave one. The result is, okay, talking about images of radioactivity from both, talking about first pre-study of second wave. We asked participants to bring their images of the radioactivity, especially first health effect of the radioactivity. And we found there are two categories of people. One is the information seekers, and another is non-information seekers. Both of them, image of radioactivity from both of them are rooted from each individual's personal experience of documents. For example, TV programs and their images are not based on the scientific evidence. For example, TV programs on Chernobyl, and some participants watched same documentary programs, and they told us about the Chernobyl necklace and the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We learned about those at school. And the contents of images are very ambiguous and sometimes very extreme. And they explain those contents of images as the world with invisible, unforeseen, and non-returnable, fatal, no recovery. Okay, here is the images. This is a category of the images. This is damages on the environment and damage of the human health. And the vertical is invisible fear and the fear of unforeseen and the future damage. And the green circle is about the images by the information-seeking participants here. And the blue circle is about the images by non-information-seeking participants. This is a movie, and this is a photo of Earth, and this is a desert, and this is a broken cake, and this is a kind of disease, skin disease. And this is unforeseen damage on the landscape, and this is a dust. And this is a disease of the not on the surface, but inside the surface, inside the body, inside the human body. Okay, so images of the non-information seekers participants is a very bad or very extreme. And the images by the information-seeking participants are very complete or emphasizing on the invisible aspects of the effect. And we gave them information about the scientific evidence. we used short videos and some materials, and about the radioactivity producers' efforts for safer food, about information about radioactivity and agricultural product producers' efforts, farmers' efforts for safer food and safer waste treatment by tsunami image. And the result is that participants who have more ambiguous knowledge or having low trust in government trust in government tend not to accept those scientific logical explanations, but others are more likely to accept those scientific explanations. So there is big differences between people who have trust in government and who don't have trust in government from this focus group interviews. Okay, and we are running short of time, so I skip this result, but I'll show you about these images of the participants who joined our second wave of focus groups. And there is a big difference between attitude change and no change. People who have higher level of knowledge have seldom changed their attitude about the scientific evidence, science materials we displayed, we showed them. But who have less knowledge, they changed attitude a lot. Okay. And this is one of the results of our focus groups. And this is the one of our groups is from the Tohoku area. Currently they live in Greater Tokyo metropolitan area, but and they are actually victims of the tsunami and radioactivity exposures. And the Tohoku area are now suffering rumors on their products, agricultural products, and their living area, that agriculture, fish, and the fishery products are contaminated with radioactivity, although producers and the local governments are making great efforts against them and to check product safety. One participant from those Tohoku area told us people in Tokyo are too sensitive with contamination. Producers from Fukushima, producers of Fukushima checked their safety, and they are rarely safe enough to eat. Those too much sensitivity of Tokyo people is caused our struggles in economically or as a human rights. So, we conducted public opinion survey in both monthly survey and the bigger survey on energy choices, and we did focus group interviews, and but still we have much things to do. For example, this is a brief result of the media coverage of radioactivity in major national newspapers, and this is a result of the local newspapers in Tohoku region. And there is a much coverage on radioactive materials here, but there are some peaks. Those are about their rumors, and those are those newspaper coverage sometimes cause rumors. So those are very much to be explored. Thank you.
Thank you very much.